10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, bing, bing. Hello and welcome to Excel Essentials. In this session, I'll be covering the formula TEXTJOIN. I'm going to show you how to use the TEXTJOIN formula. Now, TEXTJOIN can be used to join lots of text or a range of text as well. And I'm going to show you how to use it in a basic form here on this sheet. So as you see, I've got 3 countries here, and I want a list of countries or a line of countries, and I want them separated by commas, for example. Now you can do that in Excel using the TEXTJOIN formula. So if I do equals TEXTJOIN and open the brackets, you see we are met by a minimum of 3 parameters. The first one is the delimiter. Now this will be like your commas or whatever you want. You can choose a space, you can choose a hyphen, you can choose a whole new line, so like the enter, so it would be character 10 for example, and so on. Now I'm going to do a comma with a space after, and then ignore empty as the second part of the formula. And do we want to ignore, do we want to include empty cells? Let's say we want to ignore them. So we're going to type in true, and then we're going to close that part off with a comma, and then we're going to select our text that we want to join. So let's say we wanted this, for example, and this was our range. And then you can close it, and then I was to hit enter. You see it's only got UK, USA, Mexico. Now, if we wanted it to include the blanks, we can change the true to false. And if we hit enter, we see that come up. So if I was to type in here, for example, Germany, you see Germany enters the frame. France, Spain, and you see it just keeps getting longer and longer. And it's a dynamic way to concatenate, in a way, your whole list. Now, I wanted to refer back to the other delimiters we can do. So I mentioned hyphen earlier. You can also do a new line by using char for character and then typing in 10 and hit enter. Now, like this, it might look like it's not done anything, but if you come up to the wrap text, it has created new lines for it. Just so it's visible, it will by default show it as if it's all been slashed together. You can also use TEXTJOIN to compile information that you might need to place in a file or in a tool, for example. And let's say at my company, we have to input all our purchase orders into a reporting tool so that senior stakeholders can see that information. So as you see at Cookie Factory, we've got some professional services taken out on companies like Chefs for Cookies and Cookie Marketing, for example, and we have some purchase orders to pay for some time and material contractors. And as you see, someone has started inputting it manually into column H. And this person, let's say his name is Tom, he thinks, yep, I've done it in the first one, and I'll just hit Control E and I'll flash fill it down. And as you see, it hasn't brought everything in correctly. So as you see, it's got professional services and it's professional services, and because he's done it manually in the first one, he's made a mistake, and it's made that mistake further down, and it's not necessarily brought through what we needed correctly. So for example, on line 4 that I've selected, it's a purchase order for some contractors, and as you see here, it says T&M services by Chefs for Cookie for 10 days. It doesn't mention anything about the contractors. So I'm just going to hide column H for a moment, and I'll show you how to do it with the text join formula that won't have any spelling mistakes or any flash fill errors. Now, we want the purchase order number, the description, and we want whether payment was received. So we can do that with text join. So I'm going to type equal text join, and we're going to set our delimiter as hyphens this time around. And we want it to ignore empty cells. Really doesn't matter in this scenario as we're only checking and grabbing data from 3 specific cells, but say one of them was empty for whatever reason, we can let it ignore it. And then for our text, this is what we are going to do. We're going to select our purchase order number, and then we're going to hit Control and hold it as we select the description, and then keep holding it as we then go and select our payment status. Now, once we're done selecting it, we're just going to close the brackets. And as you see, it's got all 3 of those cells. Now, if I hit enter, you see it's now pulled it through, and I'm just going to wrap the text. You see it's pulled through the information, and there's no spelling mistake. Now I'm going to double click to pull it all down. And as you see, it is now 100% accurate. The one on the contractors actually says contractors. The ones for cookie marketing now have the term cookie marketing in, and so on. Now what I can do is for our cookie factory reporting tool is then copy this and paste it in directly. Stay tuned for more Excel essentials.